Welcome on to Branded, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes and beyond the brand to give you the clarity and confidence to challenge the status quo and show the fuck up in your own life. Inside this podcast, you will learn to pair intuition with strategy, feeling with tactic, and trust with action. I'm your host, Sarah Glenn, and today we are talking about the dream is free, but the journey is not. Can I get a fuck yes with that? So what do I mean by this? The dream is free, but the journey is not. AKA work. You got to put in the work if you want the result. And I'm going to share with you guys some pretty fantastic takeaways and notes that I had the pleasure of witnessing whenever I attended the Faith Over Fear conference back in September of 2023. So the keynote speaker for that event, I mean, there were a ton of fabulous speakers. Like honestly, there was probably 20 or more really incredible speakers at this event. But the keynote for the event was John Maxwell. And I know I've heard of John Maxwell. I have read some of his books before, but I never had seen him in person. And so I was really interested in what this conversation was going to look like. And let me just tell you guys, he fucking brought it. Like, every single thing he said, I was like, whoa, that's a quote. That's a quote. No wonder he writes books. Like, he's literally speaking in bam, fantastic quotes, right? I don't know. I said bam. It didn't really make sense in the sentence. But I'm telling you, I have like pages of notes from his keynote speech. And I'm like a note taker with my, physically writing, but he was speaking, like every single thing he said was just like, it was right off the cuff. And it was so good that I pulled out my phone and I was like, I can type faster, type faster than I can write, you know? And so I took some killer notes on this. And one of the things he said was the dream is free, but the journey is not. And it really got me thinking where it was like, that is so true because there are so many people that are building businesses, that want good relationships, that want to make more money, that want a fancy car, right? That you have all of these desires and these wants. Well, how are you going to get them? You can't just sit back and manifest these things into your life. Like, that's not necessarily how manifestation works. There is intentional effort that has to be put forth from you if you want these things to show up in your life. And so when he said that, the dream is free, but the journey is not, meaning you have to put in the work. It was like, oh, that resonated with me because, I mean, first off, I've always been a worker. Like, it's something that is ingrained in me. And that's not necessarily a good thing because at the same time, I also think that when something comes too easy for me, I sit and I think, well, why was that so easy? Shouldn't that have been harder? Shouldn't have I had to work harder to get that? So it can definitely be a double-edged sword, but I wanted to bring this up as we dive into a new month. And, I bring you guys these podcast episodes every week. And gosh, at this point, it's almost been a full year of this podcast and I haven't missed a fucking week. That's putting in the work, right? I had the dream of having this podcast. I knew it wasn't going to just manifest itself out of thin air. No, I have to show up. I have to do the work. I have to put forth intentional effort to think of what I would like to come on and share with you guys about, to put together the content pieces that then get streamed and shared and all the things, right? It doesn't happen by accident. It happens on purpose. And anybody that has any level of success, whether it be in business and their relationships, just life in general, it didn't fucking happen by accident. It happened on purpose. So I'm going to drop some like really killer John Maxwell quotes on you guys. And if I feel the need to expand on some of them, I'm totally going to, but these are some good ones. So if you are someone who is on social media a lot and you're always looking to sort of educate and inspire, you might want to, I don't know, screen grab this or something, record this, save it, send it to your bestie. I don't know. I don't care what you do, but this is for you to use and share because there's some good shit in here. Okay. So these are all from John Maxwell, right? I'm not taking credit for this stuff, but when I heard him saying the majority of what I took notes on, I was like, holy shit. Yes, 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 yes. So good, right? So good. So first he started speaking about mentorship because I mean, obviously that's like what he's known for, right? Leadership, mentorship, all of that. When you think of mentorship, he said it's both a verb and a noun. It's something that you do, but it's also something that you are. And I mean, isn't that so true though? In order to fully be able to embody and embrace yourself as a mentor for other people, you have to not only be doing it, right? Walk the walk, but you have to be talking the talk too. You have to also be it. And that I think is why, especially since COVID, where there's just business coaches around every corner. You turn around in a new corner and someone's like, bam, I'm a business coach. I'm not saying they're not worthy of that. 100%. You're putting in the work and you're showing up and it's a true reflection of you. Bravo. Like we need more people like that. But when you're looking to hire somebody on as, a leader, a mentor for you, your teams, any of those types of things, you really want to make sure that these people are fully embodying mentorship as a verb and a noun, right? They are doing it, they are showing up and leading by example, and they also are it. They are a reflection of the things that they are turning around and teaching you. Because there's a lot of people, they'll find like a moment of success and then they'll turn around and they'll charge you $10,000 to, show you how they did it. But then there's no actual sustainable success. So then what? Did it really work? Right? It really becomes about the long game. And I'm not saying that if you're new to the mentorship, like coaching leadership scene, that obviously you can be trusted because it's about how you show up as an individual, right? You can be a incredibly potent leader in your own life. You don't have to have a successful business in order for people to turn around and be able to identify you as a leader. So that's the whole point in this statement that leadership is a verb and a noun. You don't have to make millions of dollars a year in order to be seen as a viable mentor for people. But are you showing up, doing the do, walking the walk, being an example, and even on the hard days, right? And so whenever he said that about mentorship, I was like, that's on point. That is exactly what it is about. And you don't have to be already making millions in order for people to understand that that is what you're about, right? Because in order for you to be able to pass on mentorship and leadership to other people, like if you're a coach for coaches, you have to be able to possess the thing that you are looking to pass on to people. I heard one of my coaches say this before, where she was like, if you're a money coach, you damn sure better be making money. If you're a relationship coach, you better have a good relationship, or at least be willing to, constantly be working on your relationship. If you're a business coach, you better have some business like acumen, right? I am a branding design and consultant. And what do you guys see me doing all the time? Designing stuff, putting out automation and websites and lead magnets and all the things, right? I am leading by example. Yes, I am doing this work for clients, but I'm also doing this work for myself because it brings me joy and I know how beneficial it is for a business in general. So if you want to pass something on to other people, you have to possess that thing. Think about that. This becomes like how you lead by example, right? So having a mentoring mindset means you must have a passion for growth. So if the idea of like evolving and growing and kind of, having this sort of ever changing pivot mentality, if that scares the shit out of you, then mentorship probably isn't for you, to be 100% honest. Because when you dive into mentorship, When you dive into self-development, that is you saying to yourself, to the universe, I am ready for change. So if you're not ready for change, if you're not ready for growth, then mentorship probably isn't for you. And that's something you really have to be very mindful of because, like I said, there's a coach around every corner these days. And you have to be willing to be honest with yourself. Are you ready for the growth and the change that is waiting for you? And it's one thing to say, like, I want it so badly. But if you're really not willing to step into it and do the journey, right? Do the work, then it's okay. Maybe you're just not there yet. But having that self awareness is going to be huge for you because it will inevitably dictate your success on the back end, right? Um, let's see. He had a quote that said, if you're not growing today, you have no shot tomorrow." And it kind of goes hand in hand with the quote that I know many of you have probably heard, like if you're not growing, you're dying kind of thing, which I can honestly say I've been through kind of a weird funk. At the time of me recording this, it was a couple of weeks ago, but I was in a weird funk. It was like I had done kind of a lot of travel back to back. Then it was the holiday. I just wasn't getting great sleep, I don't think, and I wasn't really eating, like, as clean as I normally do, and my body was just kind of like, ugh, I would have to do, like, a dance party before I got on to do it an interview because I needed those extra endorphins to just kickstart me, and it's so true, though, like, if you're not growing today, you have no shot at tomorrow being any different, and that's when you get stuck in Groundhog's Day. That's when you get stuck in living the same day over and over and over again. If there's no evolution or growth, even just minuscule, like the teeniest, tiniest little 1 degree of growth or evolution, your tomorrow is going to look exactly the same. And then a year from now, you're going to wonder, why does my today look like it did a year ago? Because you didn't participate in the journey. You had the dream, but you didn't do the journey. You didn't do the work. And obviously with this whole concept, growth is not automatic. Like it just isn't going to happen on its own. You have to make it happen. You have to put in that intentional effort. Intentionality and awareness, those two things, if you start to practice each of those every single day, man, I tell you what, you will be unstoppable because you will start to recognize that every single day, you don't have to have huge, extravagant things happening every single day. You could literally do one thing that moves the needle in your personal life or in your professional life every single day. And a year from now, you're going to have 365 degrees of difference, of growth, of evolution, rather than looking back going, oh shit, today looks like it did 12 months ago. Interesting. It's not that interesting. You guys, growth isn't automatic. You have to put in the work. You have to participate in the journey, right? Okay, so let's see what are another like truth bomb. Everything rises and falls with leadership. So true. So true. When you stop asking how long will it take and instead ask how far will I go, that's when you step into true leadership. Mic drop, right? Stop counting time and start counting experiences and opportunities for growth. This is a huge shift when you stop asking, how long is it going to take? And instead, you wonder and you ask, how far can I go? And just in hearing that, what a huge shift in energy. And this is something that if you're like in the network marketing space, this is a fantastic concept because it's essentially like instead of getting into a conversation with somebody and expecting the sale, right? Expecting to make a sale. And you always hear people saying like serve before you sell, right? serve, 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 then sell. You have to gain trust, but at the same time, you have to have the correct kind of awareness for yourself. Like, what is the purpose that you are even showing up and doing this? If you want to lead yourself and lead a team of people and build a business and sort of be that mentor for other people to look towards, don't ask, oh, how long is this going to take? You guys, the journey is the fucking fun part. It never ends, is the actual answer. So if you're asking, how long is this going to take? How long is this going to take? You're going to be asking that question until the end of time because the journey never ever ends. That's the secret. The secret is that it doesn't ever stop. It just continues to evolve and become something new each time you reach like a plateau. Each time you reach a new level, then a new obstacle will present itself. It's just the way life works. And same goes for business if you're building a business, right? So if you're feeling like there's a lot of resistance happening for you right now, it could very well be that you don't have the right perspective. You're looking at it thinking, gosh, when is this going to get easier? How long is this going to take for me to quote unquote reach success? Yo, you have reached success the moment that you embrace the journey and you step into the work that has to be done with intentionality and awareness. That is reaching success. The money, the clients, all the things, they will come when you do that one thing. You stop asking, how long will it take? And instead, how far can I go? How far can I take this thing? Oh man, like you open up your mind to the realm of possibility rather than scarcity. And that's fucking huge. Y'all, I'm only through half of one page. I have multiple notes. I might have to do a multi podcast on this. Like, I might have to because I don't want this to go too long. And I want you guys to really understand, like I said, if you're building a business online, you're going to want to save this and you're going to want to write down some of these quotes. And what I will do in the show notes as well is I will go through, I'll mark off what I shared with you guys, and I will share these quotes in the show notes for you. So that way you can repurpose them, right? You can make your own content. You can go live. You can have your own podcast episode. You can go share with your communities. You can write an email about it. That's how you do social media content in a smarter way. You use the world around you as your inspiration. And when something makes you go, fuck yes, that was good, you turn around and share it. Okay, let me do a couple more before we wrap up. So, what you should be asking, how far can I go? Not how much does it cost or how long will it take, right? So, that goes hand in hand with what we were just talking about. Let's see, when you connect with other mentors, ask, who do you know that I should know? This is huge. Okay. So what do we mean by this? Who do you know that I should know? And this is something that, let's say you come into contact with a new business coach or mentor, somebody that you really look up to, and there's somebody that's like they're your person. Don't stop there. Look at who they're connected to, because you're sort of the what's the word I'm looking for? You are the reflection of the people that are around you, right? So if you are looking to up level yourself, you inevitably start hanging around people that have reached the up level that you are seeking. Yes or yes, right? So, with that being the case, when you come into contact with somebody that you completely like, you're like, yes, this is my person. I love how they show up. I love their energy, just all the things. Ask them, get into conversation with them and ask, who do you know that I should know? Who do you know in your network of people that could help me up level to where I want to be? Because if you're not asking these types of questions and you're not actively expanding the circle of people that you surround yourself with, I mean, you don't really want to be the smartest person in the room, honestly. Because if you are, you need to find a new room. There's no room for evolution and up leveling when you're the smartest person in the room. You want to surround yourself with people that are creating the level of success that you're seeking. And you could do this silently too. I mean, you don't have to like jump into somebody's messenger and be like, who do you know that I know? Tell me, share your whole network with me. I almost said the word Rolodex just then. Oh my gosh. Am I giving away my age? You guys see my grays? That's good. I almost said Rolodex. Anyways, you don't have to do that, right? You could do this silently by going to see who they follow on their social media, right? Who are they following? Who's following them back? Like what does their network look like? You can find this information out very similarly, but you're not going to get that one-on-one suggestion that you could get if you did actually ask the question. So don't be afraid. The people that you look up to, that you see as mentors and leaders for your business and for yourself, don't be afraid to approach them. I'm telling you, they want to have conversations with people that want growth. That's the whole reason they got into the business of mentorship and leadership and coaching in the first place. So this, for side note, this could be a way that you just completely silence the noise of a lot of other people and you allow yourself to be seen as somebody who is willing to participate in the journey and do the work, right? So, okay, I'm going to stop our podcast episode right there for you. I will add these John Maxwell quotes that I was referencing in the show notes so you guys can turn around and use them. And if you do, tag me in it. Like, I want to celebrate you. I want to congratulate you on repurposing content, even if it's mine, right? And it's all about giving credit where credit is due. This entire podcast episode is thanks to me sitting in the audience at Faith Over Fear, Ray Higdon's event, where John Maxwell was the keynote speaker. None of these quotes were mine, and that didn't stop me from talking about it. So don't let it stop you either, right? If this is where you heard it and you weren't at that event, that's the whole purpose of having this kind of platform. So I can bring information to you that you maybe wouldn't have heard otherwise. So I hope that's a light bulb moment for anybody who's like scared to go live or scared to have their own podcast or scared to just be and share and be the example. People, they need and want to hear what you have to say, especially if they're the right kind of people for you, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will definitely come back in another couple weeks and give you some more juicy tidbits of John Maxwell mentorship and leadership. All right. Until next time. Bye, y'all. Thank you so much for listening to Branded, the podcast. Please rate and review. And for more information, visit socialjanemedia.com. I'll see you soon.